Peace.
Ambiguity that I feel never justifies itself. There's always the pungent odor of life's constipation that surreptitiously conflicts with the detrimental instability hitherto for 6-8. Who do we appreciate? The unification of Congress, excuse me, condoms, demystifying the squalor of profanity regurgitating over and over again. Here, let me digress my bowels for a minute and right to the pompous fedora balanced by the equilibrium fortified by the government's inability to eradicate or foreshadow, taken from the Hebrew word foreskin.
Understand what you read. He doesn't.
Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor unto the Most High, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Raka Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the Great Millstone, and salutations to all you sincere Akian. And this is your brother Abawan back again with another video. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Raka Kwadash, all praises and glory is due. And this is the book of Isaiah 6 verse 9. And he said, Go and tell these people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the hearts of these people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their ears, and hear with their ears, and understand with their hearts, and convert and be healed. Right? And just like the clip at the beginning of this video, okay, if you, and you know, I'm probably just going to play the video I'm talking about as well, you know, in this section. If this is what you see and hear when you see the Hebrew Israelites on the highways and byways preaching the gospel, then it is just the simple fact that the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh has rejected you, okay? And basically, you know, the spirit is not dealing with you, man. And hey, that's not something that, you know, you see Jakes will come out and be laughing about that, oh, that's exactly what they sound like, man. I know, you know, I always think of this clip whenever I see those Hebrew Israelites out there, and you think it's a flex, but what you don't realize is that it is a sign that the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh has rejected you, and that you are unable to receive this truth. Now, this is the book of Matthew 13 verse 14. Alright. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, By hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. For these people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their hearts, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Right? And basically, you've been blinded, right? You've been blinded from receiving this truth, and you are unable to receive this truth. Okay? And hey, just showing you exactly what has happened to our people, right? Their heart has waxed gross, and you know, the Hebrew word for heart is la'ab, which means their mind. And basically your mind has been eroded by the Babylonian ways, by the ways of Babylon, the doctrine of Babylon, to the point where you are unable to receive this truth. And that clip that I just was going into, right, the clip I'm responding to, I got it from the elder Manatazak by one of his recent videos, okay, where basically he's just responding to all these TikTok scoffers, because that's exactly what they are. And the funny thing about that is that you then find out that these TikTok scoffers, you know, all the arguments that they make are basically straw man arguments. Let's get that, okay? Straw man arguments. Let's get that. Because hey man, when you come into this truth, you know, you get first-hand experience in something that they call logical fallacies. Alright, so A strawman argument. A strawman argument is a logical fallacy that involves misrepresenting an opponent's position to make it easier to attack or refuse, right? And that's why you heard a lot of these scoffers always talking about how, oh, the Hebrew Israelites think that only black people can be saved and only black people are chosen by God and everybody else is going to hell, or that white people are going to hell. Even IUIC that believes in hell, right? Alright, even though they are completely going off because there is no hell. Even they don't say white people are going to hell. But this is what scoffers do. This is what the unbelievers do, right? They misrepresent they misrepresent this ministry, and basically what they do is they use this logical fallacy, right? A straw man argument. And hey, whenever you see people talking about the Hebrew Israelites or responding to the Hebrew Israelites, it's always all kinds of false accusations and all kinds of false representations of our ministry. Because, all right, and let me make this very clear: we're not making an argument. It's not up for debate, right? We're not here to convince the whole world into believing what we believe, or convince every single Israelite, right? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Notice how it's not just black people that I just mentioned there, but we will still be referred to as black Hebrew Israelites, right? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the scattered Israelites that are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And hey, wasn't it even a while ago that you had this Jake, right? This Edomite looking guy that said that, oh, he was a camp leader in one of the black Hebrew Israelites. And that it just shows you the cognitive dissonance, right, that you have when it comes to this truth. They will talk about black Hebrew Israelites and black Hebrew Israelites all day long, but they will clearly see, right, the Northern Kingdom, right, the so-called Latinos, because because in Babylon the Great, the caps are always mixed up. It's not like everybody in the cap is a so-called so-called, because we are not Negroes, right? It's always mixed up. You have both the Northern Kingdom and the Southern Kingdom. Yeah, so they'll clearly see the Northern Kingdom brothers, and they'll even see you have the camps with the brothers that look like Edomites or look like the other nations. They will clearly see that, but they will still refer to the Israelites as the black Hebrew Israelites, and that is because they are trying to present this ministry as some form of racial identity, or some kind of racial hate group, when we do not deal with race, okay? According to the way that Esau set it up, okay, we not conform to the foolish standards that Esau Edom has set up upon the earth, okay? Because really, what race goes back to is your nationality, what seed line, what nationality you are born to, right? Because the word race goes back to, I think, is the Italian word, right? If you go into the etymology, razza, right? Razza. Let's just go to that real quick, okay? And this just shows you that, hey, everybody you always see, right? And that's the reason why I made this video right here, because everybody you always see talking about some going into the Hebrew Israelites. Oh, the Hebrew Israelites need to repent. Oh, the Hebrew Israelites are this. The black, quote unquote, so-called black Hebrew Israelites are this. The so-called black Hebrew Israelites are that. So on and so forth. They don't even understand what the Hebrew Israelites are, and they don't know anything about our ministry, or anything about what we're teaching about, or anything that we're saying, okay? Hell, even the camps that they are trying to spoof off of and say, oh, these camps represent the Hebrew Israelite doctrines, they are not even, properly, they're not even properly responding to, right, or actually delivering the right message that the camps are. Because, like I said, man, the IUIC may believe in hell, but I know that Bishop Nate hasn't gotten down to the level where he's talking about some white people are going to hell, alright? Because they don't deal with the racial constructs that Esau has set up, okay? Because that's exactly what it is. Race is made up. There is no such thing as a white people, the same way there is no such thing as a black people. That's how you use the term so-called, 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 because that is what you people, you Babylonians, you low level, look, man, let me not even start doing that, okay? But that's what you low level Babylonians have set up for yourselves, right? This ideology of race. And you even see it in Babylon, how obsessed these Babylonians are with the idea of race. That's why, they see Jake on the highways and byways talking about Hebrew Israelites, and they are hearing, oh, it's black people that are doing this, and talking about how white people are going to go to hell, and white people are going to go into slavery, and so on and so forth. Which, hey, if the shoe fits, you can wear it, okay? But we, the Hebrew Israelites, have never ever, especially the men of the great millstone, have never said white people are going into slavery, okay? Because it is still the seed of Esau Edom, the descendants of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, right? Because that's exactly what he calls himself, that he's going into slavery. All right, so let's get this, the etymology of the word race, and this is from the Old English race. Okay, this isn't what I'm looking for. This isn't what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. Let's see. Here it is. This is what I'm looking for, right? Okay, so race, people of common descent, people descended from a common ancestor, class of persons allied by common ancestry, from the French race, earlier raza, race, breed, lineage, family, right? That's exactly what race is, tribe, nation, okay? And let's etymology say it has no connection to with Latin radix, which means roots, though they admit that this might have influenced the tribe nation sense. Oh, look at this one. And race was a 15th century form of radix in Middle English, or rice, or the French word raiz or rice. Klein suggests that the word's derivative from Arabic's ra'ash, right, which is head, beginning, origin, or the Hebrew, basically the Arabic and the Hebrew are the same. The word that they're talking about is not rosh or ra, it's ra'ash, which means head or beginning or origin. So there you have it, okay? And that is the etymology for the word race, and basically it goes back to your ancestry, your heritage, right? Your bloodline and your seed line according to your father. And we even in this truth, we don't really say race, okay? Because we say nationality, because that is a better term. And the word nationality goes back to the Latin word nato, which means born, okay? So what tribe and what, so race and nationality are basically the same thing, right? But in Esau's kingdom, because Esau is the devil and because Esau has no wisdom or understanding, he will tell you that, oh, race is based on your skin color. That if you are black, right? If you are black, you are basically an African. Full stop. If you are white, right? You are basically, if you're European, you are basically white. Full stop, right? Okay, then what about the Romanians, right? The Italians, right? The Spanish. Because if you look at these countries I just mentioned, especially places like the south of Spain or the south of Italy, man, or even Greece as well, right? Those people get really dark, man. They get to the point of looking like so-called Negroes, okay? And then you find out that Drake, right? Drake, okay? The rapper Drake, that lost that beef to Kendrick. Okay, boy. Yeah. Anyway, jokes aside, you find out that Drake is lighter than and looks more white than a lot of these so-called Europeans. So let's do this, because you always have to make sure that you add that dark skin. If not, Esau will only show you, right, all the whitest, lightest, and brightest of them. And this is it right here, right? And basically these are the type of people that you see in Romania. You have these people that are very dark skinned, but with maybe like blonde hair, blue eyes, so on and so forth. And these are how they look, right? The Romani people. Okay, and these are Europeans as well, right? The so-called gypsies, and you have a lot of Jakes among them. Okay, like I said, Drake is. Hold on, let me go back to that. Drake is lighter than these people, man, and it is same thing with the Greeks as well. Let's get that. Greeks, and these are all Europeans, okay? I don't know about that one now. These are all Europeans, okay? But these are how a lot of these Greek people look, and they're not made too many pictures of actual Greeks, and this is kind of there are not so many pictures of actual Greek people. So let me try another one. 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 It's all old. It's all old. Ancient Greek pictures. They're trying to make it seem as though only the ancient Greeks can look any Asha. But basically, the idea is this: that all this whole idea of race by skin color is just bullshit, because all it just set up for is confusion. Esau's, I am race and racial categorizations are created to sow confusion. Okay, and of course, just like the other Malcolm brought out, right? The white race was invented in the mid 17th century, right? You can, and there's even a whole book about it. I think it was Dr. Jean Batalora or something like that. Basically, the name of the book is The Invention of the White Race, right? And if you go into the history of that, the reason why the white race was invented was in order to stop white women from dealing with. Okay, wait, this isn't white men. The invention of the white race in order to stop white women from dealing with Jake and other and we basically are dealing with Jake, the Native Americans and the Southern Kingdom, right? So this is the book right here, The Invention of the White Race by Theodore W. Allen. Okay, and this is just me going and basically going into something else, right? But basically, what these scoffers show you, because really, man, if you really go into it, man, you find out that these scoffers don't even have one, don't even know what they are talking about, because that's the damn thing, man. You scoffers don't even know what this truth is about, what the Hebrew Israelite ministry is about, and what you are actually arguing against, because all your arguments boils down to things that aren't even or have never been said by the Hebrew Israelites, right? I always see the Manatazakba, even he's saying the same thing, like, where are these arguments coming from? Because, look, man, anyway, this is just showing you that, this is the average, mindset of the average, or rather, this is the mindset of the average Babylonian, right? Especially, and even to, and unfortunately, right? But of course, we already know this because of the prophecies, right? I mean, I'm just ranting right now. I'm basically, I basically want to close out on the video. But yeah, the average, this is the mindset set of the average Babylonian, especially to set of our people. They can't receive this truth, so they don't even understand the words that are coming out of the mouth of the men of the Lord. And that's why when they see the men of the Lord speaking, to them it is like, right? Let me just close out with this precept. Let me close out with this precept. Okay, that should be the book of Ezekiel. Let's get that. I think that should be that 23 or 32. I always forget this exact precept. Yeah, it should be 23. But let me not start looking up and down for it. Let me just type it in. Okay, 33. So this is the book of Ezekiel 33, verse 32. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not. And when this come to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. And basically, Jake just sees the Hebrew Israelites as entertainment, right? Or they'll see the Hebrew Israelites as either entertainment or just something that or just noise in the background, basically. But when the things that we are saying are going to come to pass, because they will come to pass, then you will understand that we were the Hebrew Israelites, right? Starting from the elders and the apostles of the great millstone on down, were the true men of the Lord. So with that, I will end the video right there. Once again, all praises, honor and glory unto the Most High Yahweh Ba'asham Yahweh Ba'asham Rakakwadash Wa Abad Babal Shalom. And through the Spirit, I hope you are calm and you are quiet, you are edified. Shalom.